To be a member in good standing and have the right to vote, adults are to contribute the minimum amount of $50 per month.
Why? It was from the church saying she was delinquent in her financial support.
People was very friendly there, and I really enjoyed being there.
Candace Peterson says finding the Greater Mount Moriah Primitive Baptist Church was a blessing. The single mother had been looking for a church closer to her new home, and 6 months in, things were going perfect. That is until this letter arrived at her home late last week.
To be a member in good standing and have the right to vote, adults are to contribute the minimum amount of $50 per month.
It was from the church saying she was delinquent in her financial support.
$50 per month. Now, this shocked me because I haven't heard about $50 per month. So where did you get this from? Then Mount Moriah Day is on there, $150.
The letter also says Peterson would be responsible for a church anniversary fee of $250, a total of $1,000.
Police! Help! Help!
Jesus Christ.
To be a member of good standing, she has to pay.
I didn't know the Lord required you to pay money like a insurance company. What is happening here? Yo, they got like extra charges on there, like how the phone bill got extra unidentifiable charges on.
Okay, so Shalom. Shalom. Kwam Yasa'Allah. Koholoim La Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Bahashim Hakadosh, the honor to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. I just want to say the water to all you H.I.M and Akwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh to the best of their ability. This is Yachan the Waf, just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And this is a short that I've seen in the channel. And hey, I mean, this is stuff that these churches have been doing, man. They got ATM machines in the foyer. As soon as you walk in, they take credit card. Like you would put a person in debt, for your shit, man. They got the building fund. They got the first lady fund. They got the, all kinds of shit, bro. And Jake is not being edified. They're not getting anything out of going there other than just being, and there's a scripture that talks about that. I'm not exactly sure how it's worded, but it goes off into basically overall, man, you giving your life over to some shit that's not going to benefit you. And that's idolatry anyway. You see? Because these people are nothing but snakes, man. Fucking, they work for damn Satan, man. These Christian churches, man, especially in the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American community. That's like right now with this guy, the Pope, that passed away. Northern Kingdom, them damn so-called Native American, mainly Hispanics, Latinos, Dominicans, because I think the Catholic Church got 1,300,000,000. I seen that shit yesterday on the news. I'm like, God damn, they got over a billion followers, man. And they out here crying and screaming. You know how much money they're about to make? You know how much money man, them motherfuckers probably pulling about $1 trillion with this guy's fucking funeral, man. Anyway, let's get into some scriptures, man. I know it's in Isaiah. But yeah, man, these pastors, man, they don't mean you no good. That's like Warren Sapp. I think is the guy's name. The guy that was like, close the doors. Close them. Holding motherfuckers hostage. Trying to come up with $40,000 cash or whatever. And that kind of went viral. Then I just seen something the other day where he's trying to make it, possibly making a song out of this shit. So he's trying to, come up on the failure of that bullshit. I'm gonna make a song. Come on, bro. Yeah, Isaiah, let me go into it. 56 verse 10 as well. It says his watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. And this is going off into, the Israelites of the day as well, you know what I'm saying, to qualify. But this is going off into the leaders that our people have today. They look up to these, your Pastor Creflo of, these Creflo Dollars and these T.D. Jakes and, these Dr. Leroy Thompsons, these fucking, and Jake even go as far as following other races of people like Joel Osteen, Joyce Myers and, Kenneth Copeland. That motherfucker Kenneth Copeland sitting on like $1 billion, man. Literally. Mansions all over the place, and they not giving back to the community. You think if your mortgage If you fell behind on your mortgage or your light bill or your car payment or something like that, you think you can go and get some of that money that you actually put into that place? Are you crazy? They're not giving none of that shit back. They just gonna be like, well, hey, you know, maybe you're not tithing enough. Maybe you're not, you know, because you have to give to receive. You do know that's the word. You know, that, you know, trying to run game on the people, man. Verse 11, it says, yea, they are greedy dogs, which can never have enough, and they are shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own way, everyone for his gain from his quarter. Let me read these both in the NLT. New Living Translation, verse 10, Isaiah 56 and 10. For the leaders of my people, the Lord's watchmen, his shepherds, are blind and ignorant. They are like silent watchdogs. They give no warning when danger comes. They love to lie around, sleeping and dreaming, because they don't give no warning. And they're not giving you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans no warning, because they're not telling you that you are the Hebrew Israelites. They're not telling you that the covenants, the old and new covenant went to you, the promises. You know, they're not telling you about, you know, the laws, the statutes, and commandments were actually given to you as a people, and that these other nations are your enemies. Because they know if they done that, that would keep out the so-called Chinese, so-called Japanese, the so-called Philippines. You know, it's all nations of people that'll pop up at these churches, man, all at one time. Especially these mega churches. When actually the gospel, the good news, is for you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. According to Luke chapter 1, the Lord getting you out of the hands of your enemies. That's the whole reason as to why the Lord is coming. That's why I say all the time, man, read Luke chapter 1. Right? Because the Lord is not dealing with these other nations like that. And then these guys, they're not going to tell you the true name of the Lord. If you go into it with them, and you know, and you might mention that, okay, there's no letter J. Well, his name is Yeshua. You know, no, the Lord's name is Yahweh. Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. The true name of the Father is Yahweh, which means he exists with the existing one. And the true name of his son is Yahweh Shai, which means that he's the savior or deliverer in the Paleo Hebrew. There's no letter J in Hebrew, no letter E, no letter O, no letter U, no letter V. So all that Yeshua, Yahashua, and Yehoshua, and all that shit, no, those are not the names, man. They're not telling you that. They're not explaining that to you. And they don't care for you to know. They don't give a shit about you knowing. All they care about is okay, where's your $50 at? And then these motherfuckers got the nerve, they sending out notes. Like you late on a payment, like you know, it's like, you know, like you hell, the cell phone people don't even do that. Yeah, they'll send you an alert out that they're gonna clip your shit. You know, they're sending you an alert out like you late on the electric bill. You know, you come on, bro. So that means in turn that, okay, now they got your information, because they obviously got to have it for them to be able to send it to your house. You know, that's why the apostles always say, that's like IUIC. You know, they want your driver's license. They want a social number, things of that nature. They want to have you on a log, a data log. Like, man, you don't need nobody personal information, man, to teach them the gospel, man. Let them people know what the gospel is, man, and keep it moving. If they hear, whether they forbear. You know, whether they accept it or not, your job is to just teach, man, to bring forth the gospel and prophesy. That's it. The Lord is going to bring in the fruit, man. He's going to go, you know, bring in who the elect of Israel are, man. Here you go. You got everybody fucking information, you know what I'm saying, in a damn database to hand over to the FBI or whoever the hell else. Ain't no telling what that guy doing with that data, man. You a Hebrew Israelite group and you collecting data. Crazy, bro. Yeah, we need a copy of your driver's license. Like, you, who the fuck are you? Crazy, bro. Anyway, but you know, this is not surprising, man. It's not surprising at all. I remember seeing one story. This was a few years back, but it was a lady. She was an elderly lady. She had been going to that church like 50 years, and so she had ailments, so she couldn't make it to the church. And you know, the church, these motherfuckers didn't reach out to see whether or not she was, you know, well or died or whatever the case may be. But she ended up passing away, and wanted to, you know, they was trying to set up the funeral for her. And you know, this motherfucking church told her family that they can't perform her funeral because she was like 3 or 4 months behind on her tithes and offerings or some shit after going there for 50 years. And it wasn't like she couldn't pay it. It was just that she was, she was supposedly, she was, kind of bedridden, so to speak. So she couldn't get there. But still, you think out of 40, 50 years of you going to a church, you shouldn't have to pay for no damn casket. You shouldn't have to pay for no motherfucking burial plot. None of that. Some of that money should be, you paying that much into, fucking insurance throughout your life, or 401k or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? You get something out of it. Here you go, you going to a church where you just giving up money and you not getting nothing out of it except for a motherfucker teaching death and lies to you, man. That is crazy, bro. So I just found this to be interesting when I seen it, man. Oh my, man. Let me get this to and it's generally a lot of a lot of women, man, that be going to these churches and getting duped like that. Cause the men, man, only men that really go are like those simps. That's kind of like, they're raised by a single mama, and they mama done dragged them there, and they end up getting into the choir. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker playing some drums, or he get to play an instrument or some shit like that. Kind of keep him there. Little simps and shit. But other than that, man, ain't no real dudes, man, going to no churches, man. Jake, like, fuck that. Let me just jump straight to the point here. 2 Timothy 3:6, it says, "For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women, laden with sins, led away with divers lusts, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth." And that's mainly when you just check out the TV screen when you see these churches, man, and when they spin that camera around, check out who's in there. It's generally like 60, 70, 80, almost 90% women, man, in those churches, bro. Giving it up. So it's crazy, man. That's why it's just high time to wake out of sleep and to come out of these churches. And that's the reason why they're being exposed like how they're being exposed as of late, too. That social media been kicking their asses, too. 3 main people that their ass has been getting kicked with that internet. It's been Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, Eve, the so-called black woman, and these damn Christian churches, bro. The Lord been putting their asses on super duper blast, and people starting to see that these places are wicked as hell. And when you read into the comment boards, man, these people, they're like, man, that's the reason why I don't go to church. They got all kinds of shit to say. And these churches are falling off, man. But a lot of people, they did say that the Bible sales have gone up over the past year or so. Because people are starting to see that something is happening. They just don't know what. It says, my people have a zeal for God, but not according to knowledge. And a lot of these so-called white people, some of them are not actually so-called white people. They're actually Israelites. They actually believe in the scriptures. But they'll go into the scriptures and they know that, okay, things are changing and a lot of prophecies are coming to pass. But they just don't understand as to what extent that it's happening. So, but this shit right here, man, they should be put on blast for this. They should be put on blast for this, man. This was a bill of, if you doing all that, by the time the end of that bill, so you're looking at $50, $50 a month. I think that's about, what's that, $600 a year? Is it? Yep, $600 a year, so. Then you're looking at, I think they had $150 for the church anniversary, and then they had another $250 for some, and then you already know they're passing the collection plate. That's to go on top of them passing the collection plate. You don't think that they're not passing the plate through the damn church, man, for an offering? Every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. These churches, man, they be open like damn McDonald's, man. Shit, they collection plate being passed every day. I remember being a kid, we used to go with my grandma, man. My grandma used to always give us a quarter. You know what I'm saying? You put the quarter in the basket, baby. You want to put that quarter in the back of your motherfucking pocket and shit, go get some penny candies, man. Some penny cookies, man. Shit. When I was living in the South, that's how it was. Like, shit. You're giving this motherfucker my quarter, man. But that was my grams teaching us how to give an offering, or, to basically, give. to the church, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have no money. Hell, we was them kids. She would just take it out of her little pocketbook, what they call it, and she, hand us all a quarter, and we'll throw our little quarter off into the basket, and they'll pass it on along, and hey, shit, we done that shit. I don't know how many times, cause my gram, she went to church, man. Shit, we went to fucking church 7 days a week, literally, 2 times on Sunday, literally. Especially when that bishop came to town, so to speak, man. Hated that shit too. I ain't gonna front, cause it was just like, like damn. Yeah, you're like, god damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit, we gotta go back. We just came from there, you know what I'm saying? But my grandma, she was real strong on that church, man. But she knew about the Bible a little bit, because she kept it what she thought was the Sabbath, on Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, and she always wore dresses, and didn't allow my aunties and my girl cousins, whatever to wear pants and stuff like that. But she ate some damn pork though, so it was kind of like she had a zeal for God, just not according to knowledge, man. But hey, that was my start in the church, though. I will say, always believed, in a higher power. I didn't know until I came into this truth, man, what it really was, shit. And a lot of people that's sitting in those churches, most of the Hebrew Israelites, I gotta say, a large percentage of them came out of a Christian church or a Christian setting. You got some that come out of Islam, you know what I'm saying, things of that nature. But mainly it's that Christian church, man, that the Lord is, pulling the men from, man, and women from, you know what I'm saying. We're praying that we're part of the hopefully elect, So, hey, man, but this is nasty work right here, man. And she took their asses to the news. That's how you know the so-called black woman, she'll get down on you. She took their asses. She had the news come in on their asses. Let's see him play it again.
Candace Peterson says finding the Greater Mount Moriah Primitive Baptist Church was a blessing. The single mother had been looking for a church closer to her new home, and 6 months in, things were going perfect. That is until this letter arrived at her home late last week.
To be a member in good standing and have the right to vote, adults are to contribute the minimum amount of $50 per month.
It was from the church, saying she was delinquent in her financial support.
$50 per month. Now, this shocked me, because I haven't heard about $50 per month. So where did you get this from? Then Mount Moriah Day is on there, $150.
The letter also says Peterson would be responsible for a church anniversary fee of $250, a total of $1,000.
Police! Help! Help!
Jesus Christ.
So like, yeah, man, hey, being put on blast, man, like our apostles, man, you know what I'm saying? They ain't beating nobody over the head about no tithes and no offerings, man. But you can give, you know what I'm saying? But that's not what they doing the work for, They're not doing the work for you. They'll tell you straight up, at least GMS, I'm talking about as far as Great Millstone. I know Sakari and IUIC, you know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, them guys be pulling in some cake, boy. I don't know what it is with Sakari now, you know what I'm saying, as far as their little Wendy Williams breakdown, but anyway, nah, man, you're supposed to just be teaching the gospel, man. Teaching the gospel, man, that teaching the people, and if whether they hear it for a bear, again, that's on them. And you get the blood off of your hands, you don't want to be adding no damn blood to your hands, you know what I'm saying, and turning these people into, some goddamn even further demons, man. Even further demons. They better off just staying in the motherfucking world type of deal, man. The way some of these Israelites actually be turning out. But these people that go to these churches, oh my, they got it bad. They got it super duper bad. I seen a guy. Matter of fact, he gave me a nice little preset book too. I went to the store Sunday, thinking like, getting about this bullshit ass Easter shit. Forgetting the damn supermarket is closed because I needed something. But I'm like, damn, I ride up. I'm like, oh, this bitch closed. You know what I'm saying? I, roll around to, of course, the liquor store not closed. So I went to this, the liquor store to basically see if they had what I had down their little food aisle. And, kind of found what I couldn't. I was looking and the guy, he come from behind the counter. He like, hey man, what you looking for? I see you keep looking. Like I'm looking for this, and that. He's like, oh, okay, I got some of that here. It's right here. He passed it to me or whatever. He's like, oh, I'm like, yeah, man, I'm trying to hit the supermarket. Like, shit, I didn't know the damn supermarket was closed. He's like, yeah, today is Easter and it's 420. You're talking about some damn marijuana. It's like, yeah, man. I said, man, I don't, I'm not into stuff like that, But ended up kicking it with this dude for a hot sec. I think he might have been a Jehovah's Witness, because that's where the book come from. He gave me a nice little precept book, a red book, or kind of orangish looking. You know what I'm saying? But it's got some dog ass precepts in it. So I was like, shit, because he ran to his truck. But what he said was, he said, you sound like an Israelite. I ain't even go all off into it with him and stuff, because we was kicking it for a sec. His woman was rushing him. And then he was like, well, shit, hold on. He ran back to his truck. He was like, man, let me get a card. I'll give you one of my cars. He was into construction, carpentry or whatever. Like, let me give you one of my cars, man. He's like, we'll be talking all day. I love talking about this subject. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So he gave me one of his cards. I ain't hit him. I don't think I will. But he gave me that little precept book. So, and I might, I kind of went through it yesterday. I'm like, oh yeah, this is, I forgot what it's called, but it's from 1958, and it was an old ass book too, because it smelled old. So I know he couldn't have had a whole bunch of them. He probably gave me his personal little Jehovah's Witness precept book or whatever, man. And but anyway, he was like, man, you sound like an Israelite. I'm like, okay, so you know about the Israelites then. I didn't go all off into it because he was in a rush, you know what I'm saying? I was in a rush myself. But that's just the word going out, man. That's just proof that one proof that the word is going out. Like, people hearing the word, the Lord is gonna allow everybody that needs to hear this word, man. He's gonna pull in who he wants to pull in out of the elect, and he's gonna reject who he wants to reject, and that's that, man. So I'm gonna end out there, man. I pray that this lesson was edifying. With that, Kwame Allah and a Bible Ball.